Hey, this is Vic Dash Store. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. This is a brief disclaimer of the audio quality in the podcast episode, specifically on my end due to a microphone change and a bad bandwidth connection. David Essel, my co-host, is ultimately one of my most influential co-hosts this particular season. His episode deserves to be heard. I deeply apologize again to your ears in advance as this show is very amateur. With that being said, please enjoy the show, and once again, I deeply apologize.
Gonna walk away feeling like $1,000,000, okay? No, $2 billion. You'll walk away feeling like $1 billion, okay? Billion, gazillion.
Don't hold back how you feel. Welcome to the platform for the misunderstood and creatives alike. So roll a joint and pour a shot. You're listening to the Dash It Out podcast, the show that brings your after hours talk to daytime. No wrong opinions and all unfiltered. With your host, Vic Dash Tour.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to an all new episode of the Dash It Out show. Show that brings your after hours talk to daytime. I'm the host with the tour. Okay, so let's get into it. So, on today's episode, I'm joined by David Essel, #1 best-selling author, counselor, master life coach, author of books of All American. He talks about his own failed attempts at suicide and how many people are struggling with this. The book topics from love challenges, financial problems, focus, ADD, ADHD, attitude, addiction, depression, anxiety, insomnia, PTSD, career challenges, and so much more. And David is here with us today on the Dash It Out show. Hey, David.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing great. Can you hear me great?
I am doing awesome. What's your first name?
My first name is Victor. You can call me Vic.
Vic, like V-I-C?
Yeah, V-I-C, V-I-K, yeah, Vic.
Okay, got it, brother. Fantastic.
All right, cool. That's all good plan, man.
All right, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and just tell everyone a little bit about yourself. What it is that you do?
Yeah, Vic, oh my gosh, 45 years now in the world of personal growth. I can't believe this much time has gone by. I'm a counselor, a master life coach, executive coach. I'm the best-selling author of 16 books. I'm an all-faith minister, international speaker, radio host, TV host, podcast host. The list goes on and on, Vic. There isn't a thing. Listen, the only topic I don't cover is politics. Anything else in the world is game for me. So I do a lot of little different things on a daily basis and love everything.
Hey, this perfectly fine with me. I mean, politics, so much is happening, and it's always changing throughout our life, and so politics is another piece. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your book, okay? So you have a book, Help All Americans to Heal. What's in there? Because I noticed from your bio, you said you made your failed suicide attempt and others that are struggling just like you. What are some key game changers that can help someone who's constantly dealing with psychological turmoil of their own depression or anxiety or, ridden with guilt?
Yeah, the book Helping Americans Heal came out because of COVID. We saw these incredible statistics of an increase in alcoholism, an increase in dysfunction in relationships. We saw a huge increase in people gaining weight. 85% of Americans now are either overweight or obese. And so at the end of the day, when we started to see a couple years ago the horrendous changes, the racial insanity in our country, the PTSD that people went through, losing jobs, losing homes and everything, we said we have to help. And so we created this book, Helping Americans Heal. And Vic, it's 90 different writings. We have writings for people that are struggling with anxiety, people struggle with addiction, people who are struggling with PTSD, people who are struggling with depression, People are struggling with finances. People are struggling in their relationships. 90 different writings specifically aimed at all the challenges that we've had during this last 4 years, the political insanity, the COVID insanity, and we said we've got to do something to help people. And interestingly enough, it was the fastest book we've ever written that went number one. It went number one bestseller in 3 months. So that told us that we were hitting a nerve that Americans and the world needed. There's so many solutions in this book for the things that we've struggled with. So, we're darn proud of the book. We're really happy that it's helped as many people as it can. And, for everyone that is with us, if you're in a situation, you don't know what to do with grief, you don't know what to do with your emotions because you don't have control over them, you find maybe you're road raging in traffic or something, grab this book. It'll give you answers to almost everything that we're struggling with, Vic.
Chill out, as far as are they even tips?
Well, the very first thing that we say is that most of the challenges that we have are going to come from what we watch, what we listen to, what we read, and who we hang out with. These 4 pillars of life are crucial. So the very first thing I'd say to people, if you're struggling in life, write down, what are you watching every day? What are you reading every day? What are you listening every day? And then the last thing is, who are you hanging out with? And are they on a pathway of motivation and success? Or are they gossipers? Are they addicts? And listen, I'm a former addict, okay? So I understand the world of addiction very well. But there's no need for you to limit your growth and success in life by hanging out with buddies, friends that aren't in a mood to maximize their potential. So the very first thing we say to people is you've really got to write down what you listen to, watch, read, and who you hang out with every day. It's the number one exercise we can do because most of our moods are based on what we watch, listen to, read, and who we hang out with. If we hang out with a bunch of conspiracy theorists or a bunch of people that are into racial inequality, and I can't stand the crap in this country with racial inequality. I mean, it pisses me off, quite frankly, Vic. It's 2024, for God's sake, and we've been battling this crap ever since this country was formed. It's about time we get over it and accept everyone as equal. My God, it's not that difficult, but so I fight for that. But let me give you one really powerful tip that will radically change people's lives if they follow it. And that is this. The first hour every morning should be completely electronic free. No phones, no computers, no music, no news, no nothing for the first 60 minutes. What we found, and I've been doing this for 45 years, what we found is that people that pick up this new habit, where they're not, when we wake up, most people, their iPhones are right next to the side of their bed. They flip it over. They want to see it's a complete worst way in the world, Vic. And I know you don't do that, Vic. Other people do. I know you don't. It's the worst way to start your freaking day, brother. Now tell me the truth. Do you do that?
Yeah, yeah. They can't help it. But the crazy thing what I find really ironic is that you mentioned the first hour electronic free. And it's funny because I've been slowly but surely introducing that lifestyle into my everyday business. And I find it really intriguing because I will feel like my brain is so much clearer, so I have to focus a little bit better. And I'm just like, overall, I'm just motivated my day's business. And then it's also negative that I feel mentally I'm more equipped. I'm more
Totally.
equipped to handle whatever problems that may arise. I'm not getting frustrated. I'm not getting angry. We all have busy schedules. Things come up a lot, Things get entertained. Yeah. It's all about how you cope with it, how you handle it. It's good for me in the long run because it really helps me stress it. Now, yeah.
Absolutely. And Vic, let me go on a little bit further with this. That first hour when you wake up and, you decide to journal or learn how to meditate, or you decide to sit out in your yard or on your porch or something like that and maybe you do deep breathing exercises, or maybe you do your gratitude journal. You know, you write down first thing in the morning everything you're grateful for. When you allow the body to gradually wake up, that's the complete opposite of the way most of us wake up. Most of us wake up with a startle. Oh my God, I can't believe they posted that there. And we got to answer them right away, right? It's like your brain is on fire before it even woke up. My God, slow it down. Allow the body and brain to naturally awaken to the new day. If you have to get up 30 minutes early to have that 1 hour of no electronics, get up 30 minutes early, right? If the habit is hard in the beginning, that's okay. A lot of things, habits that are good for us are really hard to stick with. And then the last thing I'll say is this. When you get into this habit of being electronic free for the first 60 minutes, the odds of you going in and talking to someone and coming out with do you believe that so-and-so posted this about this president? There's none of that, because you haven't exposed yourself to the insanity of the world. So grab a book. I mean, people forget what these are, but this is called a book, okay? It has pages. There's writing in it, okay? Most people are so electronically addicted, they don't even know what a book looks like anymore, right?
Right.
So, and this is the book we're talking about, Helping Americans Heal. This is the book. This is the one that went #1. This is the one with 90 writings to help people heal, right? But grab that first thing in the morning, versus grabbing your iPhone or computer. And listen, if you want to know what the weather is, look out the window. You don't have to watch the weather in the morning.
You don't need to wait on people. No.
No, you don't.
You'll be fine.
That's right.
Okay. Snow, rain, hail, or everything. Look out to them, though. You'll be okay. No more electronics.
That's
okay?
right. Love it, Vic.
In a way, I've gotten into the habit of sleeping with the TV on. Now, I believe, okay, don't quote me on this. I believe, scientifically speaking, is not good because the TV releases it's blue light. The blue light that keeps you up, keeps you woke. So when you're trying to sleep, your brain is still thinking you woke because the blue light is radiating from the TV, television, or the cell phone, or the laptop. So I've been getting to the habit of switching it off, or I would just have my smart speaker just turn it off at a certain time. And hey, can you turn the TV off for 30 minutes? Because it helps program, because I'm addicted. I'm addicted to watching the TV on. So I have to psychologically trick myself to thinking that, I'm going to go to sleep with the TV still on. But in all actuality, the TV's going to be off. And I noticed that when the TV's off, I get so much, my sleep is very deep. I get some very deep sleep, and I'll wake up the next morning. When the TV's not on, there's nothing on, then I'm more programmed to go that hour without any type of electronics or anything. Because now I'm able to really step into my day, and now I have clarity in my mind. I'm not worrying about the crazinesses in this world, the whole everything, the whole gist, the whole spill of everything. And the crazy thing is, I'm one of those sick psychos that like to sleep to the news, honestly. And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like every time I make mention of it, people get weirded out. I'm like, how can you go to sleep knowing that there's chaos happening in another country, or there's chaos happening right next door to you? I'm just I don't know. It's just the informative nature of the news. For some reason, it's comforting, and it's always been comforting. And that was kind of one of the things that helped me go to sleep personally. Some people like cartoons. Some people like video vlogs. Oh, I'm just one of those weird stuff motherfuckers just like, okay? And there's nothing wrong with what you do, but it's about how you do it. So I've been gradually getting funny. Everything you're saying, I've been slowly introducing it into my way of life, and it's definitely improved a lot. Health starts here.
I love the idea that you had. Now, if I heard you correctly, what you said is the TV's on for 30 minutes while you fall asleep, and then the TV automatically shuts off. Is that correct?
Yes.
Brilliant, Vic. Brilliant move on your part.
Reprogram myself to sleep without the TV.
Yeah.
And if my brain knows that the TV's going to be off, it's hard for me to go to sleep.
Right. Now, let me share one thing, because I've helped a lot of people get the TV out of their bedroom when they're going to sleep, okay? Because it is an important part of sleep. But because you've got it down to 30 minutes, it sounds pretty good. The other option we tell people is get a fan. The noise of the fan, or get a white noise machine. They're like $30 on Amazon, right? Like you can have that buzzing going on, but it's not news or it's not laughter or it's not, there's nothing that will be interfering with sleep. Actually, the sound of the fan will calm the brain down. It's that regular, and it's just like having the TV. The sound of the TV at first allows you to fall asleep. The sound of the fan, if you ever want to go to this level, Vic, will help you as well. But I love what you're doing, and I love the fact that you're transitioning slowly away from the TV, and now we've got to get you that first hour in the morning electronic free. And it really is incredible. Now, the only type of electronics that I allow any of my clients to use in the morning, if they have to, would be like a meditation video. And they want to meditate. So, they'll go to YouTube, get a meditation video, and they'll have their earplugs in. I'm fine with that as electronics because you're trying to learn how to meditate. But outside of that, nothing. Allow the body, the mind, and you said it a minute ago. When you're doing these type of things, you're more focused during the day. You have more energy. Your sleep is much better. So, hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anyone else out there that's watching TV, listen to what Vic just told you. Get a timer. Get the thing to shut off after 30 minutes. If that's how we start, that's awesome.
Yes, reclaim our life. That's it.
Right, brother.
Reclaim it. The machines are winning.
What you just said is so true because we've become slaves to electronics. We've lost our life to electronics, to phones, laptops, computers. My God, people, there are so many people, like, I'll give you an example, Vic, and you may know some people like this. I was working with a guy from London who was online about 17 hours a day. 17 hours a day. His life was shot. He was exhausted at work. He was exhausted at home. Right now, we've got him down to 1 hour a day screen time. His life is completely, radically different.
Right. So it's 17 hours a day. So I'm assuming, is it just his addiction to being online on social media, or was it because he works most of the time on the computer screen or on his phone?
Most of the time was social media or video games. When he was at work, when he was at work, he was on social media constantly. When he was at home, he's playing 6-8 hours of video games in a row.
Wow. Yeah. See, that's that was definitely that was something that would never happen in my household growing up. My father is very traditionalist, conservative, religious, grounded, very grounded man, okay? So when it came to like electronics and everything, that was a no. I didn't get my very first phone until I was about 17 years old. I'm 28 now, David, okay? And
wow.
Yes, and screen time, no, it was really more books. In fact, I'm actually really grateful that my father instilled it within me and my siblings, instilled patience, other means and methods of entertainment, okay? Reading was one, yes. But my favorite was playing the piano. I learned to play piano. I learned to write songs. I started composing. And it felt like everything, the world opened up so much more. I was able to get out. There was no depression, even in the worst time. Because I was in high school, high school was crazy. And it would be the worst time, and I would still always have a better way of coping with my stress. When you're younger, like, yeah, I mean, we can be theatrical, we go overboard, to scream, I got my face, I'm tired of this, blah, blah, blah. I hate this, a lot, But the coping was a lot more better than now for me, because I'm actually one of those ones during the pandemic that picked up the bottle once at a time, okay? So I'm just like kind of thinking back to my stuff then to now, and I'm like, I could have definitely done a lot of things a lot more better. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, what do you do? Because there are individuals who are so depressed, okay? And not just depressed, they're depressed from loneliness. And their phone is maybe their only comfort to be able to interact. They may be introvert, they may be dealing with depression, or they may have social anxiety. So the only way they know how to feel normal, in a sense, is to use their phone, utilize social media to talk to individuals. how would you break that mode from an individual opposed to someone who just play video games all day?
You know, Vic, great questions you're bringing up. And first of all, my hat is off, and please thank your father for
Yeah,
being such an amazing father. I
yeah,
mean, your father is a rock star, brother. You know, for you
yeah.
being this young and you not getting a cell phone until 17. You know, I remember years ago dating a woman who had a 3-year-old child that got a freaking cell phone. And I went nuts. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. You know, I said, oh my God, you're destroying this child's life. And eventually, after about a year, the mother took it away and waited till she was 10. But still, to me, that's too much. Your father is awesome. Please tell him, you know,
Okay.
that I just think he's a rock star for the way he raised you guys, okay? Then get into your question. You know, we can use a lot of excuses, and I'm not saying depression is an excuse because I struggled deeply with depression in my life years ago. As a matter of fact, in 1990, I had a failed suicide attempt because my depression was so out of control. And I understand depression, and I understand how deep it can go. But what we need to do, Vic, is that for those people, and this is going to sound a little strange, but when I work with someone who has social anxiety, I get them to volunteer at a pet shelter. Think about this. I get them to work with animals, to get out of the house, get off the phone. I don't want them working with people. They have social anxiety. They're anxious around people. They're nervous about, am I going to say the right thing? Do I know enough about all these topics that all these brilliant people around? You know, most people with social anxiety have very low self-confidence. So put them in a pet shelter. Let them take care of dogs that are dying to be touched, that are dying to be cleaned and everything. Like, get them into an environment that is not people-oriented only. And Vic, when you look at these type of individuals who are introverts, who are struggling, when they go into a shelter and there are dogs that are scared of people, it opens their heart. Most people with social anxiety have extremely deep levels of empathy. They are extremely sensitive people. And so to match them up with animals, it's almost like a mirror, right? The animal is an outsider and they may feel like an outsider. You put two outsiders together and you have an inside relationship. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like they're mirroring each other and kind of motivate each other. Interesting.
Yeah. And listen to this, Vic. I just saw this on social media. It was the coolest freaking story, and I put it on my Facebook post. There was a story about a woman who was petrified of dogs. And then there was a pet shelter that had a dog that was petrified of human beings. And she adopted the dog and she worked with the shelter, and the dog's heart opened up like crazy. And the woman's heart opened up like crazy. And here's two individuals that were so fearful in life that fell in love with each other. And now they support each other, really living. And then when you see the picture on social media, the woman's smile is huge. The dog's smile is huge. I mean, it's freaking awesome. So we have solutions for psychological pain, for mental health challenges, you know, and sometimes it's something as simple as getting an emotional support dog.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's you know, I have a younger brother, Terry, who I take my hat off to. I love him more than life itself. We are soul sisters, soul brothers wrapped in one. We really are, you know, and my brother is such a rock star. He goes to this animal shelter for highly abused dogs. And, you know, Sunday mornings at 7 a.m., he's at the shelter. You know, like,
Oh,
he is such a rock star. These
dedication.
dogs are so, isn't that amazing? Like,
Yeah,
these
it's
dogs are
dedication.
so afraid of people because all they've been is beaten. And my brother's heart is as big as the world, and he goes in there and just loves them until they trust him, you know. So there's lots of options here besides staying stuck behind a computer. Even if you have social anxiety or you're an introvert, there's different things we can do to get people healed, Vic. And that's the whole purpose of my book. It's the whole purpose of my life. It's the reason I'm on this earth, is to do the work that you and I are talking about.
I love it. I love it. You know, the thing is, everyone have different coping methods, but it's not like there's no way to heal. There's
Right.
always just various ways to heal. Everyone has different coping methods. It is possible to still heal regardless. And so it's funny because, like, I started this podcast during the pandemic, and a means to help others get up out of their depression, out of their self-loathing and degradation. They feel depressed, they angry, they frustrated, ready to tear the world up because the world is already on flames now in their minds. So
Yeah.
they feel as though they have nothing to lose. Now I can jump off the bridge that I always wanted to because I was worried about losing my job or losing this and this and that. Now I don't have none of it. So what does it even matter? So this show, Dash It Out, was pretty much a means of distraction through the use of entertainment. And kind of inadvertently, pretty much sharing information, also having awesome guests such as yourself, being able to interact, two different personalities from two different walks, backgrounds and walks of life, just coming together and just dashing out, having a good time. Yeah, so this is my new therapy, but it somehow evolved and became something so much bigger that I've noticed that a lot, according to the analytics, a lot of other countries and demographics of individuals just find like, oh, this actually, I can get behind this. It's actually pretty interesting. So I love it, and yeah, I mean, keep doing you, David. Keep doing you because
Yeah.
everyone needs healing. Everyone needs a fresh start. Everyone needs
Yeah.
to find ways to help them get over their hump. So one thing I just want to add, because I've noticed that you mentioned about conscious breathing on the site. And I just wanted to
I
know,
mentioned I mentioned what was that, Vic? I mentioned what?
you mentioned conscious conscious
Oh
breathing
yeah.
technique, okay? And I believe if I remember correctly, you pretty much, you breathe, you visualize exactly like all the good, for instance, that you want, and you kind of like breathe it in and kind of focus it into your being. And as you exhale, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, it's grounded. It's very grounded. I would tell you that.
Yeah.
It's actually as effective as the 333 method, which is one thing, um, you see one thing, you say, hear one thing, and then you name a part of your body. You know, it's so many
Mm-hmm.
methods.
Mm-hmm.
I used the 333 method when I was dealing with anxiety. So I still have my occasional moments where I'm just like really, 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 really anxious. And I would just stop, I'd be on a train, just like, oh, black bag. I hear music, and then I'll be like, oh, my hand. You like, like, just like grounding
Yeah.
techniques. So when you
Yeah.
mentioned about conscious breathing techniques, that was really interesting. That was really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just,
we use the word grounding, right? There's all these grounding exercises, and what that means is it's exercises that help us feel more content, more at peace in the present moment. Mindfulness, of course, we've been talking about for 100 years, being mindful, and conscious breathing takes in all of those principles. We ask people to follow their breath in. When they follow their breath in, bring with them that joy they desire. Bring with them that freedom they desire. Bring with them that job they desire, that partnership. Inhale, hold it, right? Consciously exhale. See the reality of your desires, And really important, Vic, when we're doing conscious breathing is I ask clients to put their hand on their stomach. And I'm going to tell you what, this exercise I'm going to tell you is phenomenal for anxiety and depression as well. When you put your hand on your stomach and you inhale, you want to have your hand rise up with the stomach. That means you're breathing deeply. Most of us breathe from the chest. We go very short breaths, not a lot of oxygen into the body. What I'm teaching right now is called diaphragmatic breathing. The diaphragm goes from your chest down to the stomach. When you breathe deeply and you fill the diaphragm, your hand on your stomach will move out. Like your stomach is being made bigger almost, it seems like. It's just the diaphragm expanding, but it makes your belly look bigger, right? When you're breathing at that level, you're getting the maximum oxygen into the body that it can handle. And here's the cool news about anxiety and depression. When you do 10, let me do this, 10 deep diaphragmatic breathing breaths, you stimulate what's called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve goes from the tip of your head to your toes. It's the largest nerve in the body. When you stimulate the vagus nerve, it calms anxiety and depression, and it helps you stay more in the moment. So we have clients, I talk about getting up an hour earlier every morning, and before they get out of bed, there's two things they do. They do 10 deep diaphragmatic breaths to calm any anxiety that might be there in the morning, to refresh the mind, and then they do something else, and this is an old Buddhist technique. When they get up, before they do their 10 belly breaths, they have to hold a smile in bed with their eyes closed for 60 seconds. Now, why in the world would the Buddhists all wake up with a smile on their face with their eyes closed from sleeping for 60 seconds? And here's the answer. When you smile, there are muscles connected directly to the brain that release dopamine. So when you smile, it brings about a dopamine feeling, a feel good. That's what dopamine is. Dopamine is feel good. Now, here's an interesting study, Vic, you're going to love. So they had people smiling, and they had them in an MRI, and they see the brain flashing all this dopamine, right? They got this big smile on their face, and this dopamine is flying in, which means they're feeling better. Then they told the people, don't smile. And they took chopsticks, and they forced a smile. And the MRIs showed the same amount of dopamine being released by a fake smile as well as a genuine smile. So you don't even have to want to smile. Just freaking smile. That's it.
It is equivalent to actually smiling. Like, that is definitely interesting. That was definitely something else. So next time if I'm really feeling like crap and I really just can't put on a smile, I'm just gonna.
Absolutely. And the Buddhists that I've worked with, I've had some amazing Buddhist teachers. They all do it. They all wake up, they lay in bed, they have this big smile for 60 seconds, and then they slowly get out of bed, And what you just said is true. For everyone with us, you're going, I'm in a bad mood today. Freaking smile, And the other thing that we say, music is such a healing force. The right type of music, the type of music that excites you, the type of music that gets you wanting to rock, that is so powerful during these crazy, stressful times. Making sure you're listening to really great music that move you, whether it's praise music, country music, rock music, rap music, I don't care what it is. As long as the message is healthy and you get excited, we need more of that. And music does the same thing a smile does. More dopamine, more dopamine. So let's use these tools that are right at our fingertips to help our mental health become more stable.
That sounds like a plan. Let's go ahead and get our dopamine up, everyone. Get that vagus nerve moving. Get that vagus nerve jamming.
That's right.
So now that my dopamine is through the roof, and I'm kind of sipping on my agua with ginger. Okay, ginger.
Okay.
It's one of my. It's a natural stimulant for me besides coffee and anything else. It actually really gets my juices going. It's been a crazy day. But yeah, so while the energy is up, can you please tell the listeners where they can find all your.
Yeah. Oh my God, we have so many things for free at my website. Go to talkdavid.com, TALK David.com. The name of the website, Vic, because all I do is freaking talk all day long, just like we're doing now. This is what I do, baby. So go to talkdavid.com. We have 6 books for free. You can get 6 of my top-selling books at no charge whatsoever at talkdavid.com. There's books on addiction. There's books on mental mastery and physical performance for professional athletes. I work with professional athletes as one of the many things I do. We have a book on spirituality, how to deepen your spiritual path. So go to talkdavid.com. Get all 6 books for free, for God's sake. There's a link to my YouTube channel there. We have 2,500 free videos on YouTube, Vic, just like what we're doing right now, all personal growth stuff, right? And then look, we have a brand new program on the website called Look to Lift Others. So go and check that out. It's a free program. We are lifting people all over the world. You'll read their stories on the site. So everything's at talkdavid.com. And if you're listening, and you go, I want to check David out and do some work with him, we have specials right now because of inflation. We've discounted a lot of our prices because people are struggling. Many people are struggling financially. And as I said earlier, my whole purpose on earth is to do this work. So There's books there for free. There's discounted programs. Everything's at talkdavid.com. And the last thing I'm going to say is this. Whatever you're struggling with right now, there is a solution. Ask for help. Grab these books. The books may be part of your solution, but don't ever be embarrassed or ashamed to ask for help. If you're feeling that bad, reach out to me. Reach out to Vic. Reach out to someone, but don't suffer alone. The worst thing in the world is to suffer alone. There are people that will love you, that will support you. You may have to look a little bit to find them. It's worth it because your life is worth it.
Yeah, heartfelt, genuine, very strong public announcement. And yeah, David Essel, thank you so much for being a guest here on the That's It Out Show. And everyone, you can find all of his work, every last one of them, in the description, which will be listed below or on the right, left, wherever this video is posted. But typically, all the information to all of David Essel's work will be listed in the description. David, thank you so much. Like, you got my vagus nerves like chills. You got me, my adrenaline pumping. You know, the dopamine is going crazy, and I'm like really excited because I definitely needed that. I definitely needed that energy boost. And, yeah, so everyone definitely check out David's work. You're definitely gonna walk away feeling like $1 million. Okay, no, $2 billion. You'll walk away feeling like $1 billion. Okay, billion, gazillion. All right, all the good stuff. All right, so that's it. This concludes the show.
Vic, thank you a ton. I loved it.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing.